Live from the green octagon, where the nicknames are made up and the long shots might just pay up. This is Chronic Combat Conversation. You know TV's on the mic, flipping names on sight. Renames every fighter, whether wrong or right. Rule with the glasses, rolling up the stash, breaking down the fights while they chase that cash. Parlays, props, dogs, long shots too. Digging in the couch, finding change for the crew. Early week breakdown, Saturday they hit. If you're betting with the boys, then you know this is it. Chronic Combat Conversations. Hey. Light it up, place your bets, no hesitation. Chronic Combat Conversations. That's right. Green like the herb in the cash in rotation. Oh! Names get twisted, odds get lifted. Smoke clouds drifting while the picks keep shifting. TV spitting fire, gurus getting higher. Couch change acquired, long shots inspire. Ooh, yeah. Funky like that, keep it rolling, rolling, rolling. Chronic Combat Conversations. Light it up, place your bets, no hesitation. Place those bets. Chronic Combat Conversations. Green octagon, green like the herb in the cash and rotation.
Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations. A live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event with your host, TB, and
TB and the Guru, baby. We're back again. UFC 325. We've got Alexander Volkanovski defending his featherweight title against Diego Lopes. The rematch that we've all been clamoring for, because you know that first fight, that one was really close. No, it wasn't. We got in the building. Help us make some money tonight. You better know him. You got to make sure you're checking out his content over at Home of Fight. That social media, they're going up, man. That's a great fucking company, man. Go check out his podcast, Dog or Pass Pod, legendary pod, man. Of course, the one and only. Danton, what's up, brother?
Oh, too kind, way too kind, way too kind. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the shouts. Yeah, man. Happy just to be here. Happy to chop it up with you guys, man. It's a numbered event fight week. Got to say numbered event, right? You guys getting used to that over there, my fellow podcasters, getting rid of the pay-per-view in the slang?
No, it's weird. It's really hard.
Weird. It is weird. Either way, I'm happy to be back with you guys. We were having a nice tattoo conversation, but now we're gonna have a chronic combat conversation, the best kind of conversations. And yeah, man, just happy to be here and chop it up with you guys.
All the conversations we have with you, Dan, are the best conversation. And holy smokes, John Newquist off to a fast start.
wow.
Holy moly, brother.
Oh my gosh.
You are
it's spicy.
A special guy.
It's the John Newquist dog of the day. Again, we're going to need to
Love it.
keep that train rolling. What a guy. You like John Newquist, right?
Listen, guys, if you got him, I brought the big boy out. So if you guys got him,
oh my word.
Let's get to it.
Let's go. All right. He's locked in. And I mean, listen, before we get down to what everybody came here for, we just got to go through the semantics, right? Listen, if you haven't done so already, please like this video. Helps us out so much. Subscribe to the channel. Costs you nothing. Free 99. You get to hang out with the boys every week, breaking down fights, having a great time. We bring on amazing guests. I mean, come on. We got Dan Tom for this event. This dude is stepping up, short notice, helping out the boys. I can't thank him enough. Just an absolute G. We love booking him out ahead of time, and all of a sudden he decided didn't even need a catch weight. He made it right on time, and he's just the best. So make sure you're following him. Support all of his content. Just an absolute GOAT and an OG of the community, and just a great guy. Just a great guy, too. So, and be like John Newquist. If you're crazy enough, support the boys, right? I'm not, listen, I get it. In this economy, it can be a little difficult, but, maybe you want to help us out. Regardless, what everyone came here for, let's get down to it. we've got the main event of the evening. Alexander the Great, Volkanovski, minus 148 versus Diego Officer Ramathorn Lopez, plus 124. Who wants a mustache ride? I do. I found fun. Diego definitely changing, his mystique with that added lovely handlebars over there. It's just a great time. Guru, I hope you understand the reference, but if not, we'll have you educated.
Yeah,
Alexander,
I don't think so. What was the
all right,
reference?
Super Troopers.
No, wait, what did you say?
He's Officer Ramathorn. Mustache ride.
So I love Super Troopers. I don't know why I don't remember the character name. I guess some
Thorny.
usually. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, but it's Officer Ramathorn. Like, this is like,
full. I'm gonna go rewatch the movie.
Yeah. All right. But anywho, our actor Alexander Volkanovski putting out great content as well. Hilarious videos and production and stuff. And this guy truly is a great. There he is up on the wall right behind me. Right, we waited in line outside MSG to do like a meet and greet. He was so kind that like the people he couldn't get to, his people brought stuff out. He shook our hands still without having enough time to get to everyone. Like, stand up dude. Love all of his fights. So it's like, regardless of what happens in this fight, respect the hell out of him. And, he's winning like every single second besides when he gets knocked down in the original matchup, at least for the most part. Right. And it's going to be the same thing. He's got to rinse and repeat. And I think things that he could change in this matchup would be offensive wrestling. Like, he could put Diego on his back and use his ground and pound and kind of set a tone that, he could put Diego in positions he doesn't want to be in. It's just, does that lead to like Ortega situations, submission attempts, dangerous positions?
You know what? I was honestly, to that point, dude, just to make it more of a conversation on this type of fight.
Course.
I'm thinking that, like, why can't Diego mix in some wrestling? Like, why wouldn't that be part of his game plan this time around? Especially when you see him fight John Silva. That's kind of where he has some success. And maybe to not even expect to have too much success versus Alexander Volkanovski in the wrestling, but to use it as a threat so he's got more to worry about, at least at minimum.
Yeah, no, you make a good point, and he's been training with like the OK State wrestling team or something like that, or at least one of the guys from the program. You saw some like him online, and sorry about the inexact details. I'm sure our boy Dan Tom is going to help us out. But I know, coming back to this matchup, in the first one, we're on the Diego side, and in hindsight, it does look a bit silly. But basically, making a Diego bet, you're betting on a finish, and he got a knockdown in the fight. And 1 year later, Volkanovski off more ring rust than Diego. Diego probably has more things that he could improve on from the first matchup. And maybe he's on the gas pedal a bit more. Maybe he trusts the gas tank a little bit more this time. Maybe he knows he could go the full 25 if he has to. And now, maybe we see a more urgent game plan. And, for a guy willing to go outside of his traditional game training camp here, yeah, I think that we could be seeing some improvements. And that's where, like, the line gets fishy. Like, why is Volk not a bigger favorite necessarily? Given how the first fight went, the scorecards, it's tough. I'm leaning towards the Diego side again. But this time, like, I think I would just take it like an inside the distance prop. Guru?
I was kind of... fuck, man. I'm just thinking that if we played Diego at chalk last time, we had to play him here. It's a principle thing, right? Like, unless we really just look at the last fight and we just think it's so low percentage because Diego's just truly not that good. Because he really isn't. Like, he's just not, like, he's wild and exciting, right? But this guy is not technical. And he's got a lot of exposable. Alexander Volkanovski put on a masterclass performance last time versus him. At the same time, did he not look still a step behind old Volk? So we're really just trying to bet father time here. So, like, what is Diego by finish? How different is that than his money line? Because to me, I don't. Do you guys see him winning a decision?
No. Dan, what are you thinking, man?
I've seen crazier things, and I'm curious what that Diego by decision line could look like. But again, that is based off of the same premise of even just a Diego money line bet. If you think he can get it done inside the distance, meaning Volk has lost a step. But I agree with all your guys' analysis. Essentially, you guys both pitched why each fighter could grapple more, and I agree with that, by the way. And even though I'm more on the side of Volkanovski, which was my initial breakdown for him to remind the masses of his Khabib Nurmagomedov like style that he came in the octagon with. Remember, pre-city kickboxing Volkanovski was more of a Khabib like pressure fighter, guys. And it got him rocked and dropped in other fights too when he was in his prime against a Chad Mendez, right? This is again pre-city kickboxing. Volk was more kind of just willing to, close the distance with his right hand, not really the jabs and feints, right? And still, decimating these guys, even if he, would take, damage. He shows good recoverability, good decision making, good submission defense. That Brian Ortega fight, and we've seen him in this archetype. We've seen him against 5'11" guys like Max Holloway 3 times over. We've seen him against the archetype of the submission front headlock guy who's also dangerous on the feet in Zombie, and then again in Ortega, and then again in Lopez himself, no less than a year ago. But I also agree with what Guru was touching on. I know it's the easy thing to say, especially for us gambling shows. We know how this space is like. Everybody gets a bit of all the MMA gamblers get a little bit of a too mess and rubbery one when someone starts, getting a 35 or over, you know what I'm saying? And although I would say to temper that, because yes, he's 37, but we just saw him fight the same very guy, not even a year ago, barely 9 months ago or something like that. Right. So that should take a little bit of edge off any just blind age thing. But at the same time, I agree with Guru where he clearly beat Diego Lopez, but yeah, I believe he was, I don't want to say a step behind. He gets caught twice. He gets credited 2 rounds on one judge's card. I'm more of the 49-46. And even the round that he won more clearly, Diego Lopez, it wasn't even so much that he stunned Volkanovski, like that brief flash drop in round 2. But in round 4, it was more just the same reason why he got cut. It's the edge of the gloves. The edge of the gloves will make not clean hooks either cut or hurt the eye. So a lot of times when fighters complain about an eye poke, you see, and like it was a punch. Like, don't blame the fighter. It felt like an eye poke because those little sewing ridges of the gloves they're just so detrimental for cuts and for the eyes. And that's what Volkanovski got hit with. So he was basically blind on his back foot, says so in the corner, gets his vision back, right? But yeah, I guess where I'm going with it was that he was post-prime though, right? I think that is fair to say. He was then, and obviously time doesn't go backwards, so he's going to be post-prime now. But being post-prime doesn't mean you can't win fights. Being post-prime certainly isn't a death nail when you look at fighters like Jose Aldo and even Dominic Cruz, right? Against less notable people like Casey Kenny. I mean, Casey Kenny was literally 3 generations removed, right? Like Cruz was his grandpa when they were fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, and say what you will about Casey Kenny. Those things are very impressive. You had was it like Roberto Duran, even in his post-prime career in boxing?
Did Cruz win that fight? Did they give Cruz that fight? I don't remember.
Yeah, I believe so. But yeah,
I think I bet Casey Kenny was pissed off.
Yeah, and I think he was favored. I think he was like a -140 favorite now that you mention it, right? But the point is, and same with like Aldo versus Font, right? These are like amazing post-prime performances where Aldo was clearly in his post-prime in that, and like they showed they could still dog it out, still win.
We hit that one. We hit that one.
Nice. Yeah, same here. And, so again, I'm not denying anybody that's questioning Volk's age, but how much is it? And how much does it ultimately matter in a fight where, again, this is going to come down to adjustments, right? Volk is 2-1 in career rematches. And I'm not counting the Max Holloway 3rd fight because that's a trilogy fight. That's not a rematch. Yeah. And the other rematch comes earlier in his career. It's negligible. We haven't seen Diego Lopez in rematches. And more so, what he was missing was footwork. It was positional striking that ultimately won Volkanovski the first fight. And Diego Lopez's kind of failure to cut the cage, which we've seen, even though he's not with the Lobos gym anymore, but we've seen that with like Arena Aldana, running around in a circle trying to chase Holly Holm, and Alexa Grasso in the ladder fights against Shevchenko. Their footwork's kind of got exposed. And that's what we saw with Lopez. And I didn't see much of that change with Jean Silva, a very dangerous guy who could and did hurt him, right? And it was still a lot of linear movement, straight lines for Diego Lopes, not a lot of cage cutting, not a lot of angling, and a lot of head upright, very little head movement. He does the inside slip because he loves his uppercut hook return, but not a lot of head movement there. So I agree, guys. I think we could see more grappling from both fighters, but regardless of who engages it, I do think it favors Volkanovski. And sorry to be long-winded here, but basically, I think Volkanovski can finish here. And if you like Lopez, my issue is I don't disagree with anybody taking a shot on Lopez. I don't think you're crazy at all, right? I just think you should be pissed off at the line. I feel like
It's
you
still
should
not.
have
It's still not close. It's still not far enough because I think everybody,
yeah.
people are still doubting the age. Honestly, and call me crazy, TV, because I think it's anti where you started.
Okay.
I mean, I like the fight to go the distance. I think the
In
line
that case,
on Diego by finish is just like it's too short, man. It's plus 190. Like there's just no meat on those bones. And the truth is that if you watch that first fight, yeah, he knocks him down, but I just don't think that he's really put him like it didn't seem like it wasn't a high percentage knockdown. He wasn't able to replicate it with another 24 minutes on the feet. And I'm not sure that there's an adjustment that necessarily is going to be made here.
In that case, don't just take fight goes the distance. Just take Volkanovski by decision.
Why?
Because you just explained all the reasons why Diego's not going to win minutes. And he's not going to land the
all right, but
knockdowns.
Mr. TB scouting MMA, you didn't scout the line. I got plus 110 on fight go in the distance, and I got plus 150 on Volk by decision. Like I'm good. 40 cents. I'll take.
Plus 150 is the best you're getting.
I mean, according to Pickett, it's not giving me FanDuel, so I might get a couple more dollars. Hey,
but still, I understand.
I got it right here. It's plus 150 on FanDuel. No,
that's pretty brutal.
Yep.
Yeah, they kind of priced you out of that. That's what I was going to say. If you think Volkanovski can finish, whether you're picking him or not, maybe you look at the under for even money. I hate unders, and the even money isn't sexy either. But if we're talking about under dollar cents difference of lines, we're talking about these ladders of different lines here. How far off are we really from even money at the end of the day to Diego Lopez's money line, the finish line? So there's that. Like, for example, I took Volkanovski double chance points or by KO because that was minus 130. But at houses like Schmet online, you can actually get Volkanovski's money line for minus 135 now, which is kind of insane, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, once Volkanovski gets to minus 130 or minus 120, even if you like Diego Lopez and you're picking him as a bettor, isn't it like just an insane buy low spot than it already is that you almost bet out of principle? Kind of like last week with Justin Gaethje plus money. I don't know. Is it one of those? Do we bet this out of principle at that point? Lines?
Damn it. You're making a lot of great points, and basically what I'm coming away with is this is not one of the fights where I have my most confident bet, but I'm really excited to see how it plays out. It's going to be a really fun one, and the crowd's going to be going fucking crazy. So I can't wait for it. But I guess
the land down under.
Final prediction after all is said and done.
Fight goes the distance.
It sounds like a Volkanovski decision would be the official pick, if you're asking my typology.
Yeah, one thing I want to say, I forgot to say it on my own show. I was a bit on a time crunch this week, so I probably forgot a lot of things. But this is one of the bigger weigh-in rehydration windows we get / we've seen in some time. And I think that's going to benefit if you like the Lopez side for whatever that's worth. So if you're like me, where like I make this mistake all the time, I made it last week, right? With by breaking my no bet Charles Johnson rule, where I'm like, wow, I'm already leaning toward this guy, and I'm only not picking him because of my own woo dumb line. And now his opponent's shaking on the scale, missing weight. I have to bet it. Be careful. Don't fall into that trap in general, like I do, but especially on a card where a guy can have a bad weigh-in and have a lot of time to recover. And the UFC, they want their content, so they're going to let the fight go. So be careful about that, folks.
Yeah, just don't pull a Smotherman and you'll be fine.
As long as you don't go full Smotherman. Oh,
yeah. You never want to go full Smotherman. Poor guy. That was a rough one.
Yes.
All right. This is going to be a good one. Thank you, Marvin Vittori, for bringing light, and Dan Tom for reminding me. But we've got not just Dan the Hangman Hooker, but he's the La Prostituta. Dan Hooker versus the God of War, Benoit Saint-Denis, minus 310. and La Prostituta at plus 250. Man, this is just shout out to UFC Italy, because this is where dreams are made.
Yeah, Italian AI did him dirty. Like it sounded like Furio from Sopranos named him. This is damn prostituta. Like couldn't you see like a whole side episode? Like the Sopranos go to Italy, the Sopranos go to New Zealand, and the crime syndicate Furio and Dan Hooker paired up, and everywhere they go, Furio's just introducing him. Oh, say bello, damn prostituta.
Oh my
so
God.
Wait, Dan, this is actually apropos. You're Dan Tom. How do you feel about the Dan Prostituta fight? What are you thinking on this one?
I know. I got to be careful because Dan Prostituta follows me on Twitter legitimately, so I got to be careful about that.
All right.
But I also got to be careful because, guys, I'm in a spot where, I don't know if you're feeling it from the last fight, but sometimes you have a history. It's not just a one fight history. Where I picked against Saint Denis like his last 3 fights, right? And they weren't all super confident picks or anything like that. I don't disrespect the guy, but brass tacks, as you guys do on this show, you tend to look back on your record. You're like, dude, I just went 0 for 3 against this guy. Maybe, I should pick him. And you find yourself doing that. Hence me, even though I played Justin Gaethje, officially stupidly picking Paddy Pimblett, right? Because I'm like, oh, I've gotten burned so many times going against this guy. And you do that weird bias, right? So part of me worries about that here. That being said, the turnaround makes me lean a little more towards Saint Denis' side because both guys are making decent turnarounds. However, Hooker is making not just a faster turnaround from November, but he also, took more damage in his fight than Saint Denis, coming out and, blowing a gust of wind on poor Beneil Dariush's Benny the Bull, as you guys like to say. Yeah. Jesus Christ, pull out the cuck chair. Benny the Bull's coming to town 170. Watch out.
That
170 don't get cucked.
What was he? Who is his manager? Who lets him take this fight? Like what is happening? His poor wife and kids. Like this. Daddy's got a chance. No, oh my God, he's asleep again.
Father.
He didn't even land a punch.
Maybe that's the good thing about being super religious, because you can always, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything to anyone religious, but like, hey, that's God's will, maybe they're just like very religious, they're like, he'll be all right. He's with God, like, oh wait, he's back alive. There we go. Daddy's back. I don't know.
Oh my God.
But that being said, guys, I want to say this before I toss it to you. I'm more curious what you guys have to say because, dude, I feel like Dan Hooker's live, and from a betting perspective, not only am I not betting BSD at that price, I would throw Dan Hooker in like a round robin if I need like a leg because it's decent plus money for his money line alone.
Wow. I am. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely going to, he's definitely going to scramble and fight. That's an interesting thought. I mean, where you want Dan Hooker is this number, and getting mauled by Arman Sarukian is not getting mauled by the likes of Benoit Saint Denis. Saint Denis has certainly shown vulnerabilities. Hanato Moicano fight, most specifically, even though he, is coming on towards the end of that one. And Dan Hooker is not Dustin Poirier, although you can look back to their fight. That was quite a long time ago. I think you're right, though, Dan. You can't play Benoit Saint Denis at minus 310 here. If you are playing Benoit Saint Denis, I mean, you've got to take him. I mean, he's not. You got to take him by sub.
Yeah,
you got to take him by sub. Round 1, round 2 sub.
So I feel like you make a good point there. There's a parallel to something I think Dan Hooker can offer in this fight that's actually going to negate a little bit of what Benoit Saint Denis likes to do, and it's the threat of the front choke. And that's what we see Dustin Poirier use the guillotine, not just to jump Gilly, but to put Benoit in dangerous situations and make him make decisions. And that's what allows him to get reversals, get-ups, and ultimately cause damage. You're right. Hooker's not Dustin Poirier. He's larger, and he's got a more dangerous front choke setup, and he's actually finished those attempts, whereas Dustin Poirier has never actually
He's just a silly goose.
Right. So I think what Dan Hooker can offer is the ability to push his hips back and threaten a Darce. Where, listen, Benoit is still a sicko. I think it's going to be very difficult to submit Benoit Saint Denis. But if you can turn this into a striking match, that's where things get interesting.
So where I actually feel that Dan Hooker is really live is if the fight extends out.
Yes.
Right? That's why you have to play Dan. But here's the other thing. You should probably take a little taste of them, but you probably don't have to. Yeah, now you probably don't have to until you don't moan like that. You probably don't have to until you're gonna turn me on. You don't have to until mid to late round 1, right? Because Dan's gonna have to weather a certain amount of storm. So you're gonna be able to get him +5, +600 live, I imagine. So he's going to take he's going to give up a takedown or two. He's going to take some damage. He gives one to get one. But the truth is that Dan is tough as nails and has cardio, and Benoit is tough as nails and does not have cardio. So that makes it very, very interesting to me because Dan doesn't. He's been finished early a few times, pretty much always. Michael Chandler, Islam Makhachev, Arnold Allen, terrible, but going down in weight for absolutely zero reason.
Yeah.
And then Arman Sarukian. So elite finishers. And then Michael Chandler when COVID, no coach. I don't know, just a bad showing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the live line is live. That's great. That's a great shout.
We did not talk about, whatever's going on Volk's here, actually. That's fair. That could be another factor too, but tough to say. Tough to say. Fair enough.
Listen, Justin Gaethje definitely had staph on his neck and did just fine last week. So it's like these guys are animals.
It's tough to say. Everyone gets affected differently. So there's always going to be risks, but what we've got now is Rafael Attaboy Fiziev versus. Now, I went kind of deep on this one. We'll see if anyone understands what I'm going for, but we've got the Bicicleta, Mauricio Hufi. Now, if you guys are like me and, one day you were trying to buy yourself a bike and you're walking down the aisles, you ever see those Huffy bikes? That's every time I see Mauricio Hufi, I'm thinking about Huffy. I'm thinking about those bicicletas. So that's how we got here. I mean, other people have gone with a Shogun nickname. I respect it. I just didn't want to recycle. So I did my best to give you a terrible nickname.
That was awful.
Yeah, it was bad, right? So plus 100 on the Rafael Fiziev side. And we're taking a ride to the Bicicleta store. Minus 120 for Mauricio Hufi. This is an interesting matchup. I'm a little bit concerned in a couple ways for both guys. I think the danger for Fiziev is letting Hufi dictate the pace of the matchup and not wanting to engage because of the threat of power. And I think the chin is also a little bit more concerning on that side of things, the potential for in-fight injuries. Like, Fiziev has had a few things happen, and, I feel like the durability is a little bit more of a concern on his end. Whereas with Hufi, I'm a little bit concerned with who's going to be winning the volume battle and what cardio is going to look like if he's on the back foot and missing with some of his spinning shit. So there's a couple ways this could go on either side, but ultimately I'm going to pass the mic to the guru because I think some of the things he was talking about to me might have helped kind of choose a side here. So guru, what are you thinking on this fight?
I mean, I'm just kind of going with the anthropomorphic advantages here, right? It is. I can say big words. You know what I'm saying? Wow. I don't just look good.
Wow. Does that mean they're hog size? What does that mean?
Yeah, he's breaking it down.
Exactly. No, listen, he's got the height, he's got the reach, he's got the age, right? We can build him. Listen, I think Shogun gets it done here. I don't even really care how. He probably can outpoint him to a decision. He absolutely can hurt him and finish him on some level because, I mean, to me, when you look at that Mustafayev fight, it's like the same fucking thing, man. He could just get caught with that spinning shit.
Oh, the bad guy from No Country for Old Men,
Exactly.
the Dagestani Anton Chigurh. Called it. Sorry.
Another movie I really do need to rewatch.
It's great. Oh, it's great.
Fantastic. I think he can get it done. Why not?
All right. I see. I thought TV was going to say what concerns you was like, You're renaming all this stuff, TB, but you know the one thing you didn't name that concerns you with Hoofy? Your drink, buddy. Jesus, your drink. You gotta watch your drink. I would have gone with. I don't want to steal my. By the way, probably my favorite guest of yours. I don't even know his last name, Andrew G or something, but he does his own nicknames with you guys. I love it. By the way, yeah, he's great. Yeah. He's great. Shout out to that guy. So I definitely don't want to gimmick infringe Andrew. By the way,
not at all.
You're always
who's my favorite? He's my favorite guest of your show, by the way. So definitely no disrespect, but I would have gone with Mauricio Bill Cosby. Hoofy on that. Roofy on that.
No, so that's what he texted us earlier this week.
Andrew?
Yeah, he messaged us. That's exactly what he said.
See, look at that. Look at that.
Didn't he?
No, I'm pretty sure. Hang tight, because I'm gonna go confirm things real quick. It was Dan. It was Dan that just said that to us like 15 minutes ago before we hopped on.
I was gonna say,
but
man,
Andrew sent us a week at least.
Okay, all right, cool.
He sent us Rafa. He sent us Raphael. You better believe Fiziev.
Yeah, there you go.
That's great. Well, yeah. I'm gonna believe that Fiziev is up with the new laws. Have you guys heard about the new laws? Speaking of Roofy and Bill Cosby, you guys heard about the new drink cover laws? Bars got to have an option now to serve you drinks with covers, thanks to guys like. I don't want to start character assassinating Mauricio Hoofy here, but thanks to guys like Bill Cosby, I'll say.
It's okay. We're not monetized yet. It's okay.
And listen, I don't know if it's the Muslim thing, which means he wouldn't be drinking anyways, but I feel like Adaman's a guy who keeps a cover on his drink, guys. So I don't know if Hoofy's getting in. I don't know if Hoofy's getting in there to if you build him, he will come, or whatever Guru was saying.
Yeah, whatever it was.
I'm just kidding. You can't be too confident on this fight either way, guys. By the way, so I'm just talking shit. But I do like the plus money on Fiziev. It opened it even, and basically just basic analysis is both guys can do the matrix lean back. Both guys can be hard to hit in the head, but when you lean back, especially when you have a more bladed stance like Hoofy, a much more wided stance than Fiziev carries, it's harder to get out of the way of leg and body assaults. And who attacks the leg and body very consistently? It's Fiziev. And again, I know I get a lot of shit for this, but I'm not even convinced Justin Gaethje beat Fiziev either times. They were basically optics wins. I feel like the first fight should have been a draw. And the second fight, even though I scored it for Gaethje, predicted him to win in the second round by knockout, and he almost knocks out Fiziev in the second round. I feel like Fiziev did way more quality work in the first 3 minutes of round 3 upon second viewing, of course, not live, and that it was largely optics and Fiziev looking and being tired because he took the fight on short notice. But the point is, and I'm not crying about the cards, and neither should you, but the point there being is that he was able to be competitive and arguably beat / not be beaten by Justin Gaethje, even on short notice. And he's looking healthier, and he looks like he's taking all of his vitamins. Shout out to Dan Levy, the Garden of Life. He's been taking the Garden of Life, or whatever that saying he says is. That looks like Fiziev for this fight, for whatever that's worth. I don't put too much into that, but I will take Fiziev. And I did end up throwing a uni on him with the way I have my card structured. Could have used a dog shot. He's the Benji Boy Dog of the Week for our show, so I'll stick with Fiziev here to keep some diversity in the plate.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad shot. I was going back and forth. We ended up on the Hoofy side. Just anticipating potential improvements in his minute winning ability, training with Volk for this camp, and maybe just learning a thing or two about a thing or two. I don't think you could possibly have like a better, mind when it comes to like game planning MMA. Like Volk, that's what he does so well, is game plan for his opponents. So I'm interested to see if that helps out here. And also, who's the better grappler if we get there? Now, while you see like Fiziev does have like 4 out of 4 takedowns against Ignacio Bahamondes, I'd argue like none of those were used to get extended control time. And even if Fiziev does try to get those change of pace takedowns, it's not going to be to win extended periods. It's going to be a change of pace. He's not someone that's going to pull off a submission on Hoofy. I mean, listen, we'll see. But ultimately, I think Hoofy has all the talent in the world from a striking perspective. It's just if you go in with a slightly different game plan of how you're going to approach the striking in the fight, we'll see if there are changes to that. But I'm going to take Hoofy here. Ultimately,
and listen, if you were following us on Pickett, you would have seen we got it at -115, which may not seem like much, but
No, yeah, that's good.
When these lines, hey, listen, when these lines are close to pick them, every cent matters.
Oh God, I need my charger. We're moving on.
You will beat the closing line. Sorry. You will beat the closing line. And I just want to say real quick, Fazeev got some Sambo stuff in Kyrgyzstan, but he never uses it to TB's point. But I just wanted to answer that for the person in the chat.
Definitely. In the chat, here we go. We've got Ty Bam Bam Tuivasa taking on Taliesin, TB's boyfriend, Teixeira. Teixeira's coming in at minus 345 favorite. TB, are you gonna be flying out there and gonna be in the corner or what? Like, is he expecting you? You're just gonna be waiting back at the hotel room with the rose petals.
Listen, let me give Dan Tom a little bit of background. So
this sounds like an episode of Oz that like TB and this guy shared a jail cell, which I would love to see, by the way. But go ahead. Sorry.
First of all, Chikao is his nickname. And also, I would have accepted Taliesin, the cab driver, Teixeira.
That's a really good one.
Shout out Derek Lewis for that. I can't take full credit. But ultimately, what happened was going into the Tafa fight, that was like even money, right? For Tafa versus Teixeira. And I explained to Guru how we needed to be all over Taliesin Teixeira, and he killed Tafa. Then going into the next matchup, I was like, listen, man, like, he's probably going to beat Derek Lewis. And he lost to Derek Lewis.
You said no, he's going to kill Derek Lewis.
Yeah, and listen, if like Derek pulled off the perfect game of possum, I got to shout it out. Dude got stabbed in the eye by a jab, like the glove, just like Dan was explaining before. And Derek's like, oh no, my eye, someone call the ambulance. And he goes, but not for me, you bitch. And he just uppercuts him, overhands him. And next thing you know, Jason Herzog's like, we got to stop this fight. And the FBI is investigating it. So basically, yeah. The taller they are, the harder they fall, and that's really the only concern for Teixeira here. Is like, I really am not convinced about his defense, but like this guy it's round one or bust either way. And Tai Tuivasa,
somebody's gonna bust.
Oh God, Tai Tuivasa,
TV.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Bam, bam. So for this fight, it's just I'm scared for Bam Bam. I think, going through drastic weight loss and like these changes over a short period of time and facing the power of Teixeira, it's going to lead to a deadly proposition. And the fact that Teixeira uses his knees and elbows as well in close spaces, like I could see where Tai could end up winning this fight by a hilarious knockout. But Guru, before I steal any thunder, what was the prop that you provided that we ended up touching here?
Yeah, don't you steal my thunder, you fuck. I sent you what price was it? Plus 110?
Plus 105.
Plus 105. Plus 105 on the Taliesin Teixeira round one prop because Tai Tuivasa loves to get finished in round one. And Teixeira loves to finish in round one. All 8 of his finishes total are in round one. I think he does it again. I think the only reason there's 2 reasons Tai Tuivasa is here, guys.
Yes.
Number one is he still has a fight on his contract and it's in Australia. The second, that's actually 2 reasons right there. So the third reason would be, I didn't really think of it that way. And the third reason is that he was literally obese. And this camp, I promise you, was to save him from dying of obesity. Like, he definitely cut weight here to get to 265.
He didn't get there yet.
Exactly. Probably not. So.
I thought you were going to say you missed 2 other reasons. One, he has a beer company to sell. And then I thought you were going to include.
And a marijuana company.
Oh, okay. I was going to go with Child Fight League, but marijuana company sounds much more legal. And hey, listen, in this days UFC, would you be surprised if they just like let some fighter, like some fighter from like one of the Caucasus peddle their Child Fight League?
Roman Dolidze.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Roman Dolidze has like rights, like part ownership in some company that puts on like midget fights over in Georgia or something.
I mean, I love midget fights. So, I mean, does Tai Tuivasa get off the snide here? Because he's got 5 losses in a row, boys.
I'm
Yeah.
actually taking a flyer on him and have some reasoning, despite it being a heavyweight fight where you need no reasoning. Basically, I feel like I've had a pretty good read on Ty. I thought he was, overrated, would take shots on like Orlovsky against him. TB, I was back in TB. And even though TB came up short against Tai Tuivasa, I still felt kind of vindicated, right? And then Tai Tuivasa went on to lose some fights in a row to JDS and this and that. And then people overcorrected the steering wheel. Like, this guy sucks, right? And at that point, he switched over. He moved to Dubai for his camps, at least, working with high-level kickboxers. You've got all the Russians doing their camps out there and those crossover trainings. And he was casting, against guys like Struve, granted, but then even against guys like Derek Lewis. And I remember hitting that round 2, right? And I got off the train after his fight against Gane. I did take Tuivasa against Gane. But as bad as that looked then and worse in hindsight, if you remember, he almost knocked him out in the second round. And I actually specifically called for him to knock Gane out in round 2. So again, I lost, but I didn't feel too bad. Unfortunately, Tuivasa felt really bad, and he gained all this weight you guys are talking about. Started taking matchups that made no sense against dangerous guys like Pavlovich, and just getting his face beat in. And I've been clear off the train since, right, guys? However, and I'm not, rushing to bet him. Probably won't bet him straight up. I might throw him in a round robin if I need something and I'm desperate. I don't want to throw hard-earned money on a guy like Bam Bam Tuivasa. He is plus 275 for a reason, but he also is plus 275 in a heavyweight fight. And I always say, if someone's over a 2-1 favorite in a heavyweight fight, you better squint real hard, because that's really hard to justify, no matter who you are, much less a guy with a sample size of not even half a round in the UFC, which is Taliesin Teixeira. And so I was talking to my guy Mike before we did our show, and I got to look at Ty's socials. That alone, as sad as it is to admit, I'm being honest here, I got to see what he's doing. Did he get away from Western Australia, where he's just with his beer company chugging beers and coming in fat? And he actually has been the past few months over in Dubai again. And he even has been training with with Cyril Gane's team ahead of the Aspinall. He's been out there that long. So he's training with former partners, training with the Russians, and training with his old school kickboxing guys. So again, Tai Tuivasa's got a lot of weight to lose. He might be a rusty version of himself, but dude, at plus 275, you could do a lot worse. Like, I'm going to pick him here officially.
Don't do it.
Throw him in a round robin.
This is what you do, Dan. Don't do it. Save yourself the money line. Just take round 1 Tuivasa plus 600. He is not. If he doesn't,
that's a sexier number.
That's it, man. Because he's not winning a decision. He's not hurting this guy in round 2.
He's gotten some round 2 finishes though, and Teixeira's never been out of round 2. So
I just think the fight ends in round 1 way or another.
Yeah,
I wonder what Tuivasa
dude, his round 2 finishes, Dan Tom. His round 2 finishes are Derek Lewis with the elbow in a ridiculous fight where Derek Lewis just quits all the time, which we just saw again last weekend, and Augusto fucking Sakai.
That is a sexy number. You know what? Not round 1 would make more sense than round 2. But what about the middle ground? You get a little better than the money line. Don't have to get too greedy, but you just take his KO line, which I can't imagine is too much more than his money line. But maybe I put the KO line in the round robin, right? Which is Tuivasa KO plus 350. Not as sexy as plus 600, but we're halfway there. Yes. Living on a prayer, Bon Jovi style.
Oh,
we're halfway there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All
right. Quinlan had a mustache at the dock. His name is Squidward, and he's about to show his cock.
Oh,
to
wow.
Sorry.
You would say, oh, yeah, to that.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. You made it all the way down. All right. So we've got Squidward as it's beautiful.
He is Squidward.
Quillen Salkild, his family owns a bakery, right? Or something like that. Minus 1050 versus Jamie Bunch of Malarkey, plus 675. We've got a bunch of Squidward matchup.
This is the Squidward lookalike fight of the night.
Yeah, this is not the most attractive matchup on the card, believe it or not. As you look at these pictures, most pronounced brow lines, perhaps.
Fucking all forehead, no chin Malarkey over there. Ted Danson's Australian bastard.
That's good. Yes, Bunch of is back. It's an exciting time.
I don't think Jamie Malarkey surviving versus Rolando Bedoya means that he's gonna survive here. I
Can I
mean,
tell you a secret?
he might.
He almost didn't survive round 3.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was so close.
Like,
We did bet Malarkey there, though.
I almost kind of want to take a shot on the over 1.5, but it's probably probably ends in disappointment.
Like, the things about Salkut is, like, he's going to push a pace. I don't think you're going to be able to wrestle him easily to stay out of danger. And Malarkey is eminently hittable, and he's facing a guy that does have put-away power. My concern is, like, Salkut is, like, kind of a grappler first in some ways, and he's fell in love with his striking. I just don't think he pays for it in this matchup. It's Salkut, and this is, like, one of those under 0.5 rounds, gone in 60 seconds. Like, if there's a chance I take it, like, it's on this type of matchup. Like, you've got the glass chin versus, like, the streaking prospect. It's clear UFC does not, like, they're not feeding Malarkey this guy because, he's Australian or, whatever, and we want him to succeed. It's just, like, it's convenience. It's one of the guys that's hometown. The crowd will go crazy when he walks out and has the flag, or if they're allowed to do that or not, who knows. We don't know where, fascist UFC standards are at these days. But anyways, yes, Salkut and fast. Like, it's going to be a disastrous knockout for Jamie Malarkey. I hope he gets tended to after. Poor guy.
You gonna tend to him, DB?
Exactly. Taliesin's gonna be really jealous.
This is the fight right before.
Oh no!
You might get upset seeing me out there, and then fail in his fight. It could be messed up.
Jesus Christ!
I blame the Guru for all of his sick, twisted fantasies, and
he's bringing the worst out of me.
He could have me. Yeah, it's a sad life, but we're all doing our best out here. But Guru, do you feel the same? Is Mr. Malarkey in danger?
I certainly don't. I certainly don't feel the same as you. Just we always have to make that clear. Let's see here. Let's pull up a prop or two. That's terrible. Yeah, the only way to make money here is to try to fade the narrative. So you there's nothing to do.
Yeah,
I think honestly, TB.
What?
I think it. Again, not to roast you.
Okay.
I think we go to your well this time, and not in the way that you're going to let Taliesin Teixeira go there. I think we go to what I think we're going to what you wanted Ateb Gautier to do last week.
I literally already said those props. Under 0.5 rounds and gone in 60 seconds. I agree. Yeah, it's the moments I have.
I think we got it right this time.
Dan, can you help save us? What do you got?
By the way, speaking of danger, I don't know if Matt Chanel retired for like the 5th time or not, but if he fights again, can you guys make his nickname Matt Stranger Danger Chanel?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of Stranger Danger, I feel pretty contrarian on this one, man. Like, obviously that Bedoya fight gives you no hope or whatever, but if you want to do the old-fashioned race science out there, we didn't mention Hoopy's competitive fight with what's his name, that Peruvian guy, right? And like, we know these South American cats will fight till their burger, right? Like, they're so durable that they can just find themselves in a fight, even with a talented guy like Mauricio Hoofy, right? So against a guy that is Jamie Malarkey, you could parallel, they're both in the same divisions, and I'm assuming we all, no offense to Malarkey, rate Hoofy higher. Maybe it's not a surprise, especially with his chin, to see a guy like Malarkey fall apart in round 3. Even if he would have fully fallen apart, like I don't know anybody that would have been surprised, right? That being said, man, Salkut should not be minus 150 at all, and I understand certain spots like this, and we get these lines all the time, but if we're really being objective, right? And we're being real here, guys. How many times have we seen big favorites win in MMA? It happens every year, all the time, right? And like I was saying with the heavyweight fights, anything over a 2-to-1 spread in heavyweight MMA, which is different rules, which is why I say as low as 2-to-1, you got to squint at. I don't know what arbitrary number you guys want to throw at, but like once you start getting over like minus 700, minus 800, like it's almost unbettable, and you got to start squinting, and maybe you end up and gone in 60 seconds, which I appreciate that creativity, right? But I actually think this can go over. And Malarkey did take this fight on short notice. He was not the initial opponent, so that's another reason why it's just a massive number here, right? He would have already been a big favorite. Now he's on short notice. But Malarkey was in shape. He actually just competed in some jiu-jitsu tournaments in December and was wanting to get on the card. Like same with Hooker, whether these guys are active or not active, everybody had this date scans scheduled, circled in the Anzac region, right? So this guy was getting ready for it, training with Volkanovski and his team. And Salkild's gotten some knockouts lately, but they haven't been a big fashion. A lot of things have been club and subs or just straight out submissions in his career. When fights have been extended in his amateur career, they always got sketchy. I know that was when he was an amateur. But you see it even in the decisions that he wins as a pro. He lets guys like Yano Ashmouz into the fight. In that third round, he doesn't look as bad as Malarkey, but he's getting hit just as much, if not more, than Malarkey did in round 3 by Yanel Ashmouz over there, and it was one of those things where
That guy's a tank.
Salkild's not even like a great wrestler, nor should he be for his frame, right? And maybe he's not great at a lot of things, but he looks really good everywhere because he's a really smart fighter. Like Salkild mixes things up so well. He has the right ideas, right? However, he's still a young fighter, right? And that depth isn't there. And you see that even against a guy like Yanel Ashmouz in striking exchanges when it got extended. When those exchanges got extended and it was just throwing right hands, left hooks, Malarkey special. Say what you will about Malarkey's chin. The dude's got some pop on his punches. Freaking Salkild started falling apart, like not as bad as Malarkey, but as far as his game goes, he was getting tagged out of position, started skirting along the fence in a fight that he was largely dominating. So, I think there's some flags to look out for Salkild going forward, even if he gets the highlight we're all expecting. So, we call that watering the seeds for the fade plant. And I don't want to say that because I like Salkild and I think he's good. So it's not even anything against him. But right now we're seeing overinflation. I don't think anybody can argue that. And if you want to be contrarian, I think this fight could actually go over, and it'll be a really good test for Salkild. But if Malarkey gets nuked, I wouldn't be surprised either. I'm not rushing to bet it. I'm just saying the degenerate in me, if I'm looking for one bet for this fight, I would probably play the over.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. TV was trying to talk me into the AIDS again.
Good numbers, Dirtle, on round 2 or 3 for Salkild. If you're trying to cut his number down, you think you can get a late finish. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
That's what I said. I gotta do it. We gotta fade the narrative.
Do it, guys. Get some crowd couch cushions.
Yeah, dude. Why don't you want to root for? You gotta fight. Why are you doing that?
I'm scared. They're offering bigger bonuses now. I'm terrified. All right, we're live every Thursday exactly at 8:00 Eastern. We would never be later. We would never have guests drop out and someone help us out. Guru's always on time too. We're definitely never slightly behind schedule. So you'll see us exactly then. We got the best bets. We've got the best guests. It's always free picks. If you want to be the GOAT, like our boy John Newquist, maybe you do want to, support the guys, right? Do your thing. But if not, it's okay. Just do the free things. You can subscribe. Share with everybody. Just don't share with your grandma. We're stealing from her fucking couch cushions to place bets. So that's the one place I don't want you to share this show. Other than that, let's keep it moving. We've got the juggernaut, Juggle Tits, Junior Tafa, plus 205 versus the son of Susie, Billy Elikana, minus 250 on the PLA side. This is going to be interesting. Because basically at any point, if Billy hits the I'm going to grapple button, it's probably a rear naked choke within the next 2 minutes. Like this is a constant threat when you've got a Junior Tafa fight. Now, listen, he's got a little bit of, skills on the feet from distance. He's got some power in his hands. It's just nothing. There's nothing special. That's what we've learned, right? He's not the good Tafa brother. We thought Junior Tafa is not good. I'm sorry, Justin Tafa, he's got power, but he's not really good, right? Junior, this guy, he's supposed to be the better brother, right? No. Justin is actually somehow the better brother, I think. I don't know. It's a tough one.
They're competing for a race to the bottom.
Regardless, it's son of Susie, and you're taking me to the submission prop, but it's only plus 170. It makes me sad, but that's really the only way, unless you're saying it's a decision at plus 330. Like, I don't envision a knockout for Elikana.
You're getting warmer, though. I think it's just a little bit later. Like, why can't he just do it in round 2, round 3?
A Tuco Tokos. Well, I said if he hits the grapple button, he might not do that for a while.
Exactly.
He might just be safe at distance. Round 2, round 3 sub. Could that be the hottest thing ever?
I mean, why even get greedy? Why can't we just take round 2, round 3 period?
Yeah.
Numbers are they giving you good numbers, or are they the numbers?
Well, let's pull those bad boys up. That's what it's all about.
Talking to me, Pops.
That's my job, Poppy.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
That's your job. You finally got to open up those goddamn ears. The only thing you open up is that fucking mouth for Talos and to share.
Oh my god! What about the well? That's not the mouth, or is the well the mouth? I'm confused. Is the well I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, we're not gonna ask any further questions. Guru's sick. He's obsessed with the idea of a 6'7" Brazilian and my butt cheeks. I'm scared.
I gotta see Guru search history on Pornhub now.
Yeah, this
TB, you got that brain calculator ready to do some math because we need to know which one's better.
All right, hit me.
All right, so it's Elikana 2-3 KO 700, Elikana 2-3 submission plus 390.
So your aggregate there is going to be 275.
Okay, but you can get 440 round 2, 650 round 3. So it's like, what is the fucking?
It's the exact same number. Exact same number. They actually did it right this time.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't matter which way you play.
Pick your poison, but that's a fun way to play this fight.
I agree. That's the way.
Dan, do you have anything different, and what are your thoughts on this one?
I'm trying to figure out the son of Susie nickname. What's is that his real nickname, or is
that's his real nickname? I guess his mom is Susie, like fucking Suze.
I thought it was for some second. I thought it was Sister Susie, but that's because he bought up. That's only because he recently beat Sister Christian. Kevin Christian, oh, your time has come.
Yeah,
that was his last time out, right? Was against Kevin Journeyman. What's your price to fight? It's 10-10 tonight. So I hopefully Billy Elikana's off that 10-10 or whatever the hell he got. He didn't even come off contender.
Yeah, we got him on 12-12 now.
Yeah, he's a 12-12 guy. He's big time.
I think he's gonna 14-14.
I think he's gonna go for that 25 though. Like Junior Taffa, guys. I don't know if you guys have brothers, either you two, or like any of your childhood friends had like brothers, especially in like 2s or 3s, where there was 2 or 3 boys in a family. You'll notice like certain dynamics, right? And what I get from Junior Taffa is that I'm going to guess he's the youngest brother because he has like the younger brother syndrome, right? Where he has all the potential in the world, all the ability to learn off the mistakes, which is maybe why he's hyped up as the better one. But whenever you play the game with the younger brother, if the game ends from the older brother, from Junior Taffa, or from Justin Taffa, it's because Justin Taffa is the type where he's older brother syndrome. He's the guy who, when he loses or the game's over, it's because he flipped the Monopoly board and got pissed, right? Because you took his hotels. Then the game's over, right? Whereas Junior Taffa, if the game's over, it's over because he fell down and he hurt his knee and he starts crying. And you're like, oh, here we go. Now mom's going to come out. Game's over, guys. Baby's crying. I don't know if that's too crude, but like that's what I get from Junior Taffa. He'll look good in a fight. And as soon as it's not going his way or it's getting extended, all that potential goes right out the window, and he just finds a way to just throw it in. I don't know.
I don't know. I think we got like a little therapy session going on here, mixed with I
don't have brothers, so I wouldn't know. But this is from like my view. Like
I just think that they're both like not very good UFC fighters. Like, I just don't think that they're very good. But I mean, Billy Elikana has won two UFC fights. Are they versus UFC level competition? No, but he won fights in UFC. It has to count for something. So I think Tafa's a name, and I think that they're going to get Billy Alicante on a 3-fight winning streak and feed him to somebody else to build their name there. So that's how that stuff goes.
All right, fair enough. I like that round 2-3 idea. It's very
anything
nice.
else is silly.
Great.
It's the only thing that makes sense. Anything else is silly.
We've got the battle of the two greatest nicknames ever. We've got the battle giraffe, Cam Rouston, minus 360, versus Cody, watch the back of the head, Brundage, plus 285. You got to be careful. You
better not even sniff the back of his head.
Yeah. I mean, like, what? It's been 2 of those. Then there's been another headbutt. Then Cody is really this is just not good. I'm very scared. Cam Rouston, the thing that I think could happen in this fight that catches people by surprise, like I'm hoping that it's not the Cody Brundage experience again, like some fluky, crazy DQ, whatever. Like my projection would be we've been seeing a lot of knockouts on the Rouston side. I think he could hurt Brundage. We see Brundage shoot in for one of those dumb takedown attempts, and Rouston's actually got a solid submission game. That's where he got a lot of his wins up until his recent one. So I feel like we could definitely see, instead of like the knockout where that's kind of the popular prop at the moment, that's plus 150. His submission was plus 200. So I don't know, like maybe that's like the quote unquote surprising thing to happen. But regardless, I just think Brundage is losing and by finish, and probably fast. Like the under 1.5, I don't see Rouston playing around like Mansour. We've seen him do that multiple times. Like Rouston doesn't fuck around. The dude gets into action. It's just a question of like, are you going to try to wrestle him and lay and pray like a Torres Finney style or something like that? Or, are you willing to fight him like Andre Petrosky kind of stupidly did? And that's the decision that we're going to see from him. Like Jacob Malkoun also, like that's another guy that could just wrestle, rinse, repeat. Like Cody Brundage, you can't trust him to do that consistently. Like I expect him to get swept, reversed, end up on his back. William Knight, Michael Oleksiejczuk style, something like that.
Willie.
Yeah. Take him on a trip to Pound Town. But yeah, it's Rouston and by finish and under 1.5.
I got to bet. I got the prop for you, Pops. Cam, I was just about to send it to you. It's Cam Rouston, round 1, round 2, minus 120.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. It's a good one.
Wait. Round 1, round 2, minus 120?
Yep.
Yeah.
The under 1.5 itself is minus 120. You think it's going those extra 2.5 minutes?
Yes.
Because you could just do Rouston and under 1.5 will get you to plus money.
Listen, if anybody can extend a fight via bullshit, it's Cody Brundage. If you want to make the half-minute argument, but yeah, I think both should cash ideally.
I just don't want to. I'm not really splitting hairs, TB, but I mean, you'd have to tell me it's like plus 120 to the minus 120. Like,
dude, you're talking me into bets over here, guys. I got the same line over here on Boyd, minus 120, 1-2 for Houston. Stop talking to me into bets.
I like that. I think it's worth doing a unit, man. I think that's something that's healthy.
If it doesn't cash, it's because Cody Brundage successfully got some kind of no contest or something,
or he gets a takedown, or that there's like multiple. There's like too much wrestling. Like, he's gonna die. Like he has to.
And I don't want to assume that the judges are in the commission are actually going to do their job, because that's a big leap. But you have to imagine, like anybody fighting John Jones, or like it's the same thing with John Jones and Cody Brundage, in the sense that they both have such a record of doing one particular thing in subsequent fights, where there's no way you fight either of those guys and you don't go to the commission and ref beforehand and go, listen, we've got records here of this guy just doing this up and down, gaming the fucking system. Are you going to be number fucking 27th to let it go and not even take a point from this guy? Or what, be on the lookout. This guy's going to look for any excuse possible, and it's got to be, I think it's going to have to be one where even if he gets hit in the back of the head, it's going to have to be so blatant, because Cody's like turns his head and like kind of turns into it. And most good refs won't call that. When people complain, they'll be like, you turned your head, keep fighting. Now, not all refs do that. Again, we're depending on, like, God forbid, refs to enforce the rules here. But I can't imagine Cody Brundage keeps getting away with it. He's gotten away with it for way too long. and I don't see it here. I'm stupid, and I put Cam Ralston in a parlay. And if worst comes to worst, in my mind, the parlay goes from a 3-leg to a 2-legger if Cody Brundage pulls his magic. But one last thing, Guru showed me his awesome tattoo, and like you can look at Guru's tattoo and you can be like, oh, I totally get what he was going for, and clearly he went to an artist, and you can imagine what that conversation went like, right? But when I look at Cody Brundage's tattoo, here's how I imagine the conversation went like, guys. Let me do a quick reenactment on his chest. I'm Cody Brundage. Hey, can I get if Voldemort had sex with a Wojak on my chest? Wait, no, wait. Can I have 2 Voldemort Wojaks on my chest? No, wait. Can you
Give me one of my arms
on both? Can you put a helmet on both their heads so no one hits them in the back of their head, please? Thank you. Like, is that how it went?
I think that's how it went, bro.
I mean, his tattoos are not good. I don't really look at them. They're terrible.
It's like a Wojak with helmets. Like, don't hit me in the back of. Like, that's like a meme you would make. You would make a Wojak with a helmet meme to make fun of Cody Brundage, and he got 2 of them on his chest. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not one to talk, but I just had to point that out.
So funny.
Oh my god, so good. Yeah, I mean, come on, Battle Giraffe. You got to do your job.
So funny.
All right, we've got Mamba Malkoon, Jacob Malkoon, -162 versus the Punisher, Torres Finney, +136. Dan Tom, what are you feeling here?
I mean, I can see why people are excited about Torres Finney, like just by the photo, right? They're just like, ooh, muscly Jack guy. This is probably somebody who TB has in his, prison cell with Talos and Teixeira. Like that's what they're probably thinking. But, but honestly,
that's a group hug in the showers tonight.
Hey, but honestly, I actually like Malkoon, who, despite like being just a low stock guy who looked like he got here by being Robert Whitaker's, jiu-jitsu coach, getting knocked out by Phil Hawes, right? Short notice across the world, granted, but still, this guy has slowly and quietly built some stock back. He had the BS loss to Cody Brundage that should have been a win. And his best name is his lonely loss, which is Brendan Allen, one of the top-ranked guys in the division, and that fight he arguably won. I didn't score it for him, but he did way better than a unanimous decision or anybody probably remembers. He had reversals that weren't counted in the stats, and another reason why you don't go with the stats, we'll get to like Con Offley and all the missed takedowns in his Marion Santos fight that they didn't even, or the fight before that, that they didn't even count, or after that. But yeah, Malkoon, it shows 20% on his takedown defense, and we know Torres Finney wants to do that. So I could see people, being like, well, Malkoon's not a devastating striker, so this is Torres Finney. But Torres Finney doesn't look like he's got a lot of weapons to me on the feet, guys. He could knock out Malkoon. That's going to be the way my over bet for the parlay and my bet on Malkoon, spoiler alert, loses, right? But outside of that, he doesn't even, really have a jab and certain things that not only was I calling for him when I was grading him in my contender series because he went for 3 swings at bat there, but I actually compared him to Jacob Malkoon, and I don't know how you guys work, Guru or TB, but when you get 2 guys who are like the same styles archetype, I don't know if you guys have a system or some way you maybe lean on those fights, but me and other analysts will tend to side with the OG. When the 2 mirror matches meet, we'll tend to side with the OG, and even if it's a slight OG like Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady, which there could be certain parallels there to this fight in a way. Although the better jiu-jitsu guy in this case is Malkoon. He's a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And even though he doesn't have like crazy submission wins on his record, he's very hard to control. He had very good, again, deep halves that were working on Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belts like Brendan Allen. He was able to hit reversals on. And we haven't seen not only the depth from Torres Finney's game where he just kind of connects his hands and then just takes you down and does no damage and just takes you down over and over again. But we haven't even seen him face fighters who have any kind of depth in the jiu-jitsu or wrestling. Malkoon, of course, working. I know Australians, they're not rated high internationally, but they do have a Camden Valley wrestling program at the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Smeaton Grange where Malkoon trains out of, as well as Robert Whitaker, who also has good wrestling for the region, one of his main training partners. So yeah, man, I feel like he's gonna outwork him. He's got a good jab that he will throw. Malkoon will throw even against southpaws. And whereas Finney, he's young, he's improving, but this is his first fight in front of a big crowd. This is his first official fight in the UFC. This is his first time traveling outside the United States, much less across the world for a fight. And the plus side that he's working with Daniel Cormier's camp and, working under Daniel Cormier, the build, the style, like it's perfect. He's in the perfect place to improve. But similar to Hoofy going to Bang Tao, how much do you improve in one fight? Usually not much. In fact, even if it's a positive move, there's usually that one kind of awkward adjusting period, as there should be. And we've seen even better, higher accoladed wrestlers who have better striking, in my opinion, in Darren Wynn, who was smaller than Finney, but not by much. He was 5'6", Finney's 5'7", you know? And Darren Wynn, we saw size matters at a certain point. Malkoon's not big, but he's still going to be, taller than Finney for whatever that's worth. He's going to have that size parity, which he usually doesn't have. And I don't know, man. I thought it was buy low on Malkoon when it got down to minus 135 on that dip. And I just took him for 1.35 units for units. And I have the over in a parlay in case this is a Torres Finney fight. And God forbid he wins it.
All right. And I get it. And it's good analysis. And there is a lot of truth in what's being said. There's just a couple factors that take me the other direction after I did a little bit of digging.
We went digging.
So Torres Finney, I mean, the upside for him is the athletic advantage, the strength advantage, and being able to close up some of his gaps in a wrestling technique perspective could actually help him out with getting better control on Jacob Malkoun. Also, if this fight plays out from distance, there is a chance that he actually might have an advantage there. Malkoun is solid in a lot of areas, but Finney, this is actually a fight where he's not giving up a lot in the size and reach department, at least on paper. So we'll see how that actually plays out.
He doesn't jab.
It's true, but I'm just saying, I don't think he's going to be necessarily overwhelmed on the feet. I don't think he's in unless that iliac crest of Jacob Malkoun is working overtime. And I still have this from last time, but it's the iliac crest. We're worried about that hip bone.
Oh,
that knocked out Petrosky. It could be coming for Torres, but no, I get that. But the biggest concern on the Malkoun side for me, and this is what ultimately got me to flip around, is the back surgery.
Yeah. 100%.
He had the lumbar disc herniation, dealing with radicular symptoms, sciatic nerve involvement. Thought about retirement, didn't think he'd make it back to the octagon. And typically when you see these fighters coming in their first fight back off of spinal surgery, you're getting a shell. Ramiz Brahimaj in his first fight back, absolute trash, controlled, not a lot of cardio. You can't simulate the fight experience. And being out of the cage for 2 years in its own right, let alone, we were there that fated night in Atlantic City. That's a long fucking time ago at this point. We're two completely different people these days. Just in perspective, you know what I mean? A lot can change in that time. And Malkoun has also been recovering from a super serious back injury and surgery. And that's where it's just Finney, we've seen him wrestle for 15 minutes. I know that there's a lot of talk of the muscles and maybe he's going to gas out and blah, blah, blah. It's Cameron Houston's not easy to hold down. That dude is annoying as fuck. Robert Valentin, that dude is also annoying. But neither of them were coming off of a back surgery. And that is the ultimate piece that's hey, if I'm going to take a dog shot on a wrestler versus wrestler, could be an ugly distance striking match, it's a dog shot here. And Guru, thank you for putting your foot down early.
Yeah, I also just feel who's more likely to just kind of end up on bottom? I don't know. I often feel that it could be Malkoun. The physicality of Finney could be dangerous, and I don't know. He's a dog, man. He's a dog. He's gonna fight for your money, and he's a guy that does tend to be favored when fairly highly when he's fighting, right? I mean, he's been over minus 250 in all three of his either Contender Series fights and UFC fight. So
no, absolutely. No, great points. I think you're getting plus money on Finney and the X factor on Malkoun. That reason alone, if you want to take a shot on Finney, you're justified. He's undefeated. But again, it's one of those things where it's I've seen Malkoun defend more takedowns than he's credited to, and usually it's really well-timed takedowns in the open that get him down, whereas Finney is against the cage. And I don't know. I trust TB's analysis because of what you do. By the way, obviously, I'll respect your opinion more than my own on that kind of stuff, on the back stuff. 100% TB. But I did do a deep dive on his Instagram, and just as far as watching him move, and like the at least from like the getting off the bus tests, like he actually looks in better shape than before. And maybe you're right, TB. There is something about those hips, because did you see the girl he's pulling that he just married?
Yeah,
he's got a hottie, man. He's out kicking his coverage. I'm not.
Yeah,
all respect. From a fellow 5'9" brown dude who will probably fight at 185 because I'm so overweight. Respect, Malcoon. Respect.
Yeah, those crests are working.
Yeah, he's got some. There's something to those hips. But no, I don't. That's actually a really good case for Finney, and I've heard some good cases out there. It's just again, if we get somewhere on somewhere close to whatever normal is for Malcoon, I just feel like he's the more skilled fighter. But you're having to pay chalk, and I never like doing that. I'm more of a plus money guy, so would I call anybody crazy for taking the plus money, especially on an undefeated fighter like Finney? Not at all, not at all. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this one goes. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. I love a little dissension. It's a fun
yeah.
And now look at me. I'm the captain now. It's Jonathan Mikhailov, the captain, versus the Welsh gangster, Oban Elliott. Plus 114 on the Elliott side. In this matchup, I tend to favor the wrestling and grappling of Mikhailov compared to Elliott. From what I've seen of Elliott, a lot of what he does comes down to like using his technique in the clinch to kind of bully guys that aren't on his level. And I think Mikhailov can kind of match his level in the clinch and in the grappling department. I don't think Elliott's going to have like a stark advantage there. And then where Mikhailov might, lack a little bit in his boxing approach, I was encouraged in his debut that, I thought we were going to have a huge advantage just in the grappling department, but it turns out he's actually got great timing and kicks to all three levels. Now it's like difficult to win with like a purely kickboxing approach, like not really incorporating your hands so much, but I see at least a little bits and pieces that, make me confident that, hey, like, I think we have the power advantage here. We're going to have the better kicks. And I think that the wrestling is covered. Also the original matchup, Elliott pulls out due to an illness. He also had a really weird showing against Ko, and I think Ko is really good. But for the type of favorite and the hype around Elliott, like, I don't think it necessarily matched his performances and the type of matchups that he had. Like this, and Guru always makes fun of me, but like I was a Val Woodburn taker in their matchup because looking at Oban Elliott, I felt like there were enough holes in his game. Even going back to the Kai Brito fight on Contender Series where he scrapes out a tough split decision where he's in danger a lot of times. Like I've just been underwhelmed, and I think there's something going on with this guy. They made him take this fight again. They made him travel back to Australia again, and I think Mikhailov is going to have him covered in multiple ways. So
it's because you took Val Woodburn versus Bo Nickel.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
You made fun of me for thinking about trying to fade a large line. It never happened. I didn't take that.
It happened.
Oh my gosh. Anywho, the guy that can't get other guys' hogs off his mind. Guru, what do you think about that?
Oh my god, I don't know, just so many hogs. Yeah, I mean,
he has no response.
No, I don't really have too much. I don't know. Again, it's similar to the last fight in a lot of ways, in that I feel like you don't really get to see Oban Elliott as a dog often, so it is quite tempting to lean that way. But I think TB makes some interesting points in terms of Mikhailov's overall physicality and ability to possibly out grapple Oban. These Cage Warrior guys are not great grapplers, and beating Preston Parsons and Basel Hafez is just, it doesn't mean too much. At the same time, beating Kevin Jousset doesn't really mean anything at all, and not finishing him is not good. So we really were just happy that we picked him and he was a plus 170 dog. Should he be favored here? I mean, yes, he's home, but that can also breed pressure. So I do find myself quite torn, if I'm being honest.
Caesar home.
Yeah.
Caesar home.
Sorry, you remind me. He's home. Sorry.
Caesar is home. And yeah, I don't know. For all of Oben's for all of that, man, DraftKings says that only 44% of the bets are on Oben, which is interesting.
It's interesting. You know who Jonathan McAuliffe looks like? And at least in the photos, maybe not so much in when you watch the tape, but he looks like the guy from the character from The Mummy who has all the religious symbols on his neck, depending on what country he's going into. Doesn't he look like that guy? Kind of?
Yes.
He's like, all right, I'm Jewish now. I'm Christian today. Oh man. Yeah, I agree with your guys' analysis, by the way. This is another, speaking of minus 135 in the over, this was the same breakdown I had in the last fight where I was really close to playing the minus 135, which is still available for McAuliffe, unlike the favorite of the last fight. And I was thinking about putting the over in a parlay, guys, but if that over misses, I think it's because Oban Elliott shits the bed. And I think the reason why he looks so bad against Ko, like TV was saying, you got to remember Ko is a southpaw. And, you know, outside of a few brief looks from Basel Hafez, we never really saw Oban Elliott against southpaws. And boy, did his game really look he looked awful, right? And McAuliffe is a southpaw, but shout out to our guy Fenyo. You got to have him back on here, by the way, Fenyo. This is welterweight, a.k.a. jankweight division, right? It's like heavyweight has two divisions. It's heavyweight, and then there's the majority of heavyweight, which is the T-shirt and the pool division. Well, welterweight has welterweight. At the top of welterweight is wrestleweight, and at the bottom of welterweight is jankweight, right? Like Nico Price and Themba Garimbo. We got Jonathan McAuliffe. He's super janky. And if you're ever sparred with these guys where it's like, and not even spar, but you guys as guys who crunch tape on the weekly, you guys know what you're looking at this point. You ever watch that tape on the guy like, this guy doesn't look good, but he's winning and he's frustrating the other guy. It doesn't make sense, right? And McAuliffe has one of those styles, and not just southpaw, but what was the other word there? Frustration. And that's what I didn't like in the Ko fight. Say what you will stylistically, you never want to see a fighter start losing their focus and getting frustrated with themselves, right? And it was almost worth, and I appreciate Oban Elliott's honesty, where most fighters have excuses. They're like, oh, my dick got staph, you know, or something like that. Like, it made it worse because Oban Elliott was like, this was literally the best camp of my life, and I have zero excuses. And I'm like, ooh. And he was admitting that himself afterwards and showing that frustration. And McAuliffe is a guy who looks super freaking annoying to fight. So maybe I'm going to regret it. This is probably the minus 135. Should have ended up firing over Malkoun at the end of the day. But there's that analysis. Do what you will with it.
I like it. It's lining up, baby. It's a beautiful thing. All right. We've got another interesting matchup here. We've got Genghis Khan Ofali versus the Jaguar. Yiza. This is going to be Yiza. Oh, should we be rolling up a Jizzler? Is that what happens?
Jizza, the Rizza, and the Yiza.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, ultimately, there's a couple dynamics in this fight where, damn, I'm a little bit kind of considering the underdog here. Like Yiza, I feel like he's been solid. He has a good grappling background. He has a lot of experience, but watching his striking play out against Weston Wilson, it's like, all right, like you did what you were supposed to do. Like it's a pass-fail class, and you got a passing grade. Like we learned that you're not bad enough to lose to Weston Wilson. Congratulations. But I'm curious, like, because Gabriel Santos is like completely other end of the spectrum. Like that guy's good. So what happens when you start facing guys in the middle? And that's the real question is like, is Khan Ofali a guy in the middle? I don't think he's a Weston Wilson, right? Like, I think he's got a lot more than that. But, he's lacking a bit in the reach department. It makes it difficult for him to get inside, to get to the positions that he wants to engage in the wrestling. But if he's not getting just obliterated by Yizov from the outside, I think he's going to have a lot of success as he crashes forward into the pocket, creates, either body lock or – sometimes we can see some good level changes, but he really likes to muscle guys around. And that's where he could either have trouble or really just get the ball rolling here. And that's where I'm intrigued at the dog shot. I think Ofali has a lot of upside to, like, hindsight. Like, damn, didn't realize this guy was going to wash him for 15 minutes on the mat. You know what I mean? But, I don't want to discount the experience of Yiza either. So I'm in a difficult place here. I'm leaning towards the dog, but I'm open to discussion. I'm curious what we're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I do find myself leaning towards the dog because I just don't think Yiza is a minus 200 fighter in the UFC. Like, I just don't think that he's very good. Sure, he's got his classic path to victory of just a million takedown attempts. But yeah, I think Khan Ofley is a guy that can decently hold his own in terms of that wrestling department. Does he not train with Volkanovski as well, or am I making that up?
He
Awfully?
didn't this camp, I don't think.
No,
Okay.
not this camp. He has trained with City Kickboxing before. Correct, though.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean that's always helpful though. Friendly vibes. So, I mean, at plus 170, a guy that's coming off a solid win, I'll take it. I'll take a shot. Why not?
All right. So, Guru, you know, you're not going to poison me in that department as far as the bets you keep influencing me on this show. I feel like from you in particular, but you've influenced me in another way too, in the dirty way with TB. Where now, just like when TB said, "I'm in a difficult place," like my head immediately went to like, what is Taliesin Teixeira shoving him in a suitcase or under his bed for later? Like, what kind of difficult place? The difficult place can mean a lot of things. TB now in my head. But no, listen, this is another spot where, especially if you guys know me, you know what, probably go the opposite of me. You usually don't do too bad doing that. So maybe this is another spot for that, folks, because I did the stupid thing where not only do I parlay, which, you know, on this kind of a card, you're getting degenerate. You're kind of, you know, I feel like you're almost forced to look for something fun if you really want to have some action anywhere. And yeah, this is the third leg, just a money line on the Rizza, the Jizza, and the Yizza, you know. But it's dangerous because stereotypically, Ofley is a guy who mainly gets it done by grappling. And, you know, even though Yija is actually known for his grappling, submission grappling, and he's gotten better at striking, which I'll touch on in a second.
He's going to take down the Great Wall.
At the end of the day, how stupid am I going to feel for paying chalk for a Chinese fighter if he gets out grappled? Like, how dumb am I going to? It's going to be so obvious in hindsight, right? If that's the case, but I don't know if that's the case. This is again where home court advantage, yes, but kind of like Dan Hooker, if you do want to fight at home, you're having to make either quick turnarounds and or shorter notice fights. And this was the case for Ofley. And even though he's short and has a small reach, he is a thick guy, so he cuts a decent amount of weight for one. And, you know, I've seen him go 3 rounds, so I'm not trying to insinuate that that's so much of a problem. But because it's a shorter camp, and again, when these guys fight, you know, on their sides of the world, like when they fight in Europe, it's like, okay, well, if you're backing a fighter who normally trains at a really good camp in the States or somewhere else, chances are, for economical reasons, they're not going to go to those camps, right? They're just going to stay at home. It's cheaper. And that's what Ofley did here. So he's not training with City Kickboxing. And I don't know if it matters because when he did train with City Kickboxing, he comes out and he starts showing the ideas because he's super loopy. And that's why he's just begging for knockout. I'm surprised that Marion Santos knockout. Santos is good, obviously, but like, I'm surprised that hasn't happened more to Ofley because he just goes wild and loopy. And he trains with City Kickboxing. And like the first minute or two of the round, he's feinting and jabbing, right? Like, okay, oh, he's been training with City Kickboxing, right? It doesn't, by the end of the round, he's just looping like an idiot again. And he's getting rocked, right? So there's that. And there's two, his takedowns are mainly against the fence and upper body. He's actually seems like a really big upper body guy, I guess, because he's got a strong upper body, Ofley. But if you look at Yizza, the takedowns that take him down are lower leg shots that are well-timed and in the open. Not that Ofley can't hit those. Not that Ofley can't even get a takedown, against the fence. But you have to keep in mind that, yeah, I was stupid and I picked and probably bet Ricardo Ramos. But you have to keep in mind that, like, dude, Ricardo Ramos, I don't use the Q word a lot. He's a quitter. And not only is he a quitter, he fights from bad. He puts himself in bad positions, which he did. And even facing a quitter who puts himself in bad positions, Ofley actually had to cheat twice to win that fight. He grabbed the fence to hold positions he shouldn't have maintained from top or back twice in that fight just to win the fight. So I don't know how much to rate that either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, props to Con Ofley. Most people think he wasn't even going to be able to win a fight in the UFC, right? And he did against a known guy. But I don't know if he does that to Yizza. Like, Yizza's been taken down, and one thing I don't like is he'll close his guard immediately, which I hate seeing that in the year 2025, 2026. I don't like seeing that. But he only does it for a little bit, and he's very step-by-step. He'll go from closed guard, then he'll go to open guard, knee shield, foot on the hips, kind of get to the fence, cross wrist, grab a wrist, separate grips, and then get up safely using the fence like a cheese grater to avoid the back kick. So we go step by step. And I even though I didn't like that approach at first, that's probably a smarter approach if, God forbid, a guy like Offley does get him down. So if Offley does get him down, I don't think it guarantees that it wins the round. And if he can win a round, I don't know if he can win another round. And that's not even including the striking, which I'll just close up. I know I'm kind of passionate, but I did tape this fight very decently. And I like his striking, man. I think even though he's not as strong of a guy, I think he's more athletic. I think he's better fighting instincts. And his striking actually reminds me of Dustin Poirier. Not only will he jab, right, which is big because most fighters don't jab. I'm not valuing the jab because I look like a hipster and am a hipster. No, it's because fighters don't do it. It's fucking effective striking, you know?
It really should. Jab's helpful.
Yeah, and he's got, well, not just jab. He'll hook off the jab. He'll build off the jab. He'll shift stances. And I really like his striking, man. Even in the Gabriel Santos fight where he lost and got rocked, he was showing good striking. He showed good recoverability and heart. And the only thing he got rocked with were well-timed front kicks by a guy who's criminally underrated, by the way, a top-level featherweight in Gabriel Santos. And kicks are kryptonite to both Offley and Yiza. But the problem is only one of these guys throws kicks, and it ain't Offley. So give me Yiza here. I'm probably going to lose despite all that analysis, but do with it what you will, folks.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you putting down your foot, staying confident in your analysis, because I might just have to pass on the fight given I'm leaning towards the dog, but there's enough reasons to just not pull the trigger on it. Sometimes
you can live bet it.
A bet not made. Yeah, exactly. Like there might be opportunities during the fight, but sometimes you can just pass on one, right? Yeah. And that kind of brings us to the idea of these next 4 fights. And I got to be honest with the people, right? You know, Chronic Combat is all about honesty and being forthcoming. And I'm not prepared to break down these next 4 fights for you. So we're going to spare you the wiki capping and bullshitting. Like, I think we did a solid job, having tape and analysis for the other fights on the card. Did not actively watch the Road to UFC season as it happened. Ended up on vacation this week. Did not get a chance to fully tape each of those fights. I know Guru had, some stuff, a couple extra things to complete between work and a couple other family things going on, and life happens, right? So what you could do if you want a little bit of analysis, because I also want to save our boy Dan Tom, the efforts that he's already gone through this breakdown. I know they also had a time limit on their show, but if you want some good analysis, Dogger Pass Podcast, they went over those first few Road to the UFC fights. Do the right thing. Hop over there. Watch the full episode because Mad Lab Mike is also sick. He was trying to help us out as well, but we will be having him in the coming few weeks. Also, a friend of the show. So, Dogger Pass Podcast saving our life. You got to go support their content too.
And I'm just going to be honest with everybody. We come here every week. We never miss a week. We break down every fight. And if you guys stayed last week, we gave out winners.
Oh, yeah, winning football bets, yeah.
We made money on NFL last week. So maybe next week I can convince TB to do some Super Bowl breakdown with me, but we will see.
So that's the thing. If we did the work on it, I'm happy to share. But in this case, listen, guys, you can see, I did minimal work. I just threw this, we had Keiichiro Suzuki, right?
Suzuki. Do you have the nicknames? We do need the nicknames.
So Frogman versus Street Buddha, those weren't my nicknames. That was their nicknames. That's
amazing.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. Sick. I don't know anything about them. I'm so excited.
No clue. So that'll be sick. Ichiro Suzuki, that was my nickname. He didn't have one versus Sebastian Saleh. Seb is not doing great. Dan actually had a good nickname for Lawrence Louis. What was it?
Lawrence Lou the kangaroo.
Yes. There you go. Lawrence Lou the kangaroo. And then I said Sulan Mulan Grangbo. That was my idea on that one. Not the best. And then Aaron Tao's him up. That's got to be part of his whatever's going on there versus this. I don't even know what this is going on here. What is this? The Steppe Warrior. Because it's like the steppe region, like 2 P's and an E. Regardless, I wish you guys the best, if you're betting those fights. What I will give is Dan Tom a chance to say his words for the people, but make sure you do the right thing. Help the boys out. Dan, what do you got to say for the people before we let the guru take us away here?
I was just gonna say that Street Buddha sounds like something that I pick a half ounce of every month of. But with the StreamYard logo, the Street Buddha looked like Street Bukkake, which is another
oh no,
interesting. Oh my god, that's just a terrible image. I'm sorry, folks. But,
he lost last week to Nikita Krylov. Street Bukkake,
yeah.
Modestus
Street
Bukkake.
Street Bukkake. Yeah, we called that shit too. So the John Newquist dog of the day hit last week. Well, who's our dog of the day this week?
Oh shit.
Yeah, who's the John Newquist dog of the day this week?
Sorry, John. He won't get a.
Oh, was it
While
the
you
hooker? No.
What?
Dan Prostituta.
It's got to be Dan Prostituta or John Michelin. Oh no, he's the favorite.
No, he's.
Can't you hear Furio just saying Dan Prostituta? Doesn't that sound like a Furio line?
Yeah, that's the dog of the day. It's the Prostituta.
It's the Prostituta.
Dan Hooker's a decent shot.
He feels like the Gaethje of the week.
Hey, I just want to say real quick, I know you guys want to get out of here. I just want to say thank you guys so much for having me. Please like and subscribe to theirs. I know they're giving love to my show, but this is legitimately one of my favorite shows. I've been watching the show so much with these guys. I even have like my own favorite guests. The fact that they would bring me on, I appreciate it. Hoping that I do better. Because speaking of Street Bukkake, like that's another name for my betting record, right? Street Bukkake. But I got the blessings of the Combat Chronic conversation squad, the Triple C squad. I think you guys are going to put a little extra good juju on a card that could use all the good juju we need. So thank you guys for having me so much, and please support this channel, folks.
Leave it to the juice.
Appreciate you, man. These two jujus could give you all the juju.
Yeah,
fantasy.
Man, you showed up on it. You showed up on an hour notice, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Anytime, anything we can ever do for you, man, let us know. And we got to make sure to link up in real life. That'll be lit.
Yes, yeah, we got to do that,
guys. Seriously, make sure you're following Dan Tom over on Twitter. Make sure you're following his Dog or Pass podcast. Awesome show. Make sure you're following TB Scouting MMA over on Twitter, Instagram, Pickett, Tapology, and Better MMA. And you can follow me, the Guru Scouting MMA, over on Twitter, Instagram, Pickett, Verdict, Tapology, and Better MMA. Guys, we'll be back next week. We got you know it. You know where we're headed. Back to the lovely Apex Arena. I'm excited.
Oh, baby. The Meta Apex.
The Meta Apex. See you there.